we have created what is called a development fund. And to demonstrate our deliberate intention, we have put already aside 110 million to show private sector that we are serious. We are putting this into an independent fund that will be governed by an independent body.
The Northwest Province has a history within South Africa's mining economy, yet its future growth depends on far more than the resources beneath the ground. The challenge now is how to turn mining activity into diversified development, reliable infrastructure, and visible benefits for communities across the province. Today we speak to the Premier of the Northwest, Lazarus Mokgosi, to unpack the province's economic vision. Premier, thank you so much for your time. We're here at the Mining Indaba. There's been a lot of conversation around investments, collaboration, partnerships, etc. From your perspective, what is the core economic vision for the Northwest Province?
The Northwest, fortunate part of it is that it's a province that has a lot of endowments and platinum and other critical minerals at the center of it. But the unfortunate part also is that when you get into that province, you can smell poverty, but the province is rich. Now, to have government coming in terms of how to assist, we have just recently in the executive level approved what is called the Provincial Growth and Development Strategy. There are 4 key drivers that we have. It is mining, agriculture, tourism, and a little bit of manufacturing. Now, those are the 4 areas that we are concentrating on. And we are here in that sector, mining, where we are saying, let's come and see how far can mining assist to ensure that we innovate, we activate the economy to such an extent that the rate of unemployment in the province is very high. And we believe that mining is one critical area where we can do a lot of intervention. So far, we have engaged mining companies in the province. Impala, Sibanye, a lot of them. And they are cooperating very much. We have engaged our traditional leadership, Bafokeng, Bakhatla, and so forth. Those big traditional authorities with capital, especially those who have minerals. We are collaborating. We've got what is called a Trinity arrangement, ourselves as government, the mining sector, and the traditional authority. What we took also at a conscious level as government, we have created what is called a development fund. And to demonstrate our deliberate intention, we have put already aside 110 million to show private sector that we are serious. We are putting this into an independent fund that will be governed by an independent body of men and women who will take charge to maximize resources and at the same time implement projects which are development in nature. Government has no role. Government only mobilize resources as part of the shareholders. And it will be independent, chaired by an independent person. That is a demonstration of our commitment that we want private companies to come in, we want traditional authorities to come in. So we are deliberate in what we are doing.
Okay, you mentioned that the province is rich, but when one drives into the province, the poverty is quite visible. Where are the challenges here that is holding back that growth and that investment that you want to see in the province?
I think the challenge is that let's look at in this context. In the Northwest, we've got what is called labor-sending areas. The Bojanala belt, that's where a lot of mining takes place, and very sporadic in other areas of the province. But you'll have this land belonging to the traditional authority. They sign the labor plans, but to a large extent, these SLPs are not honored. And I think it has to do much with the mining charter, which depicts and dictates what should happen. Now, over and above, you will then have our communities and the fights around traditional authority, where there is no coherence between even our local government, our communities, our traditional authorities, which makes it very difficult at times for these mining companies to honor the SLPs. Because we strongly believe if an SLP has been signed, it was a prerequisite to have a company to establish their business in a particular area. That's one major serious challenge, accountability in as far as honored agreements of our social labor plans.
And then to deal with those issues, those challenges, do you find that you are able to close the gap between the challenges? What does the conversation look like around the table in trying to find solutions to what you've just mentioned?
That's why I deliberately, from the office of the Premier, appointed a dedicated team, assisted by privately appointed people. Because I think key to it, you'll know, mining is a national competence. It's not a provincial competence. Therefore, our role as a province is facilitation. So we have come into that space because we strongly believe that there is a gap. Now, this team that I've appointed, in the main, their role is to facilitate collaboration and relationship between the mining sector in the area, including our communities and our traditional leadership. But also key to it, it's about post-mining activities. Because at some point, you can see what is happening in Stilfontein, Orkney, where it used to have a lot of mines. Now we've got diligent mines, unutilized mine. There we get Zama, illegal mining. The townships there, serious poverty and they are distressed. That's where now you get illegal mining. Now, at some point, these minerals will get finished. But my insistence is, what is the end game after we have exhausted the minerals? Therefore, it talks about post-mining activities. What is the economy of the area post-mining? Secondly, is that most of our mining companies, they look at people coming to work from a labor point of view only. People in the community are not economically active in the business and the ecosystem and the value chain of a mine. There is no localization at that point. Raw materials are taken as they are, driven to other areas. These companies are in the province, but all their headquarters are in Johannesburg. There is no investment in an area that will make the people around there to be economically active. They don't participate in other, could be byproducts, could be manufacturing in the area. So there is no investment in the area. It's people coming, taking the resources, take them away, and yours is just to bring labor. And I think that's where our focus is, that let's force these companies to invest in the province, to invest in the people of the province, make the people of the province to participate in all areas of procurement actively, not only on the basis of labor and SLPs. And also, I've pushed these companies. At least I'm happy today there are very few which have come on board. I don't want us to talk about SLPs where we build crashes, we build paved roads. I want major catalytic projects which impacts on the lives of people. Could be bulk infrastructure. I'm talking about roads infrastructure. Because you'll be surprised, some of the roads are so bad, and they are bad because of the transport mode that is being used in the mining area. And these trucks are using the roads, but the roads are bad. So we have come into an agreement. I think we've got Impala, which has come on board. I think the Vatara, which has come on board. And these are the companies which are saying, we are contributing. More than 150 million was contributed by these private companies. The Bafokeng also have come in from the traditional point of view to say we are also going to contribute in the construction of roads in our community. Look, we'll have water as a serious challenge in our area. What is their contribution? And they are coming very handy. And I think that's the collaboration we are speaking about. Catalytic projects, not small projects which are SLP related, and actively involving our people in the economic scale of mining in their own areas.
When you think back and you look at the Northwest as a whole, where have partnerships worked really well, if you had to review what's happened so far?
No, it worked well, especially in the roads infrastructure. Like I said before, what we do, we agree with the mining company. We say, let's go rent to rent. At times, they go even beyond us as government. That's number one. Number two, we agree that we appoint a consultant because the asset belongs to us. Once we appoint a consultant, you appoint a contractor, and we are not involved. Through the procurement process, we are not involved. The payments of the contractor, we are not involved. We just want quality assurance, and that's where we come in with our own consultant. Because after you have constructed the road, you are going to hand it over back to us, and we are going to do the maintenance henceforth. And therefore, that's why we want to have our own consultant who will ensure that there is quality assurance. And that relationship has gone very well. Because private sector will not want to give their money to government. They are very cautious, and therefore we said, no, fine. We don't want to even have your money. We don't want even to procure. What we are doing, we're just bringing quality assurance. And the relationship has been very, very good.
Communities in conversations like this, as we talk about investment, sometimes may find that they feel a little more disconnected from what they're actually seeing around them. If we had to imagine a community that feels included, where would we be able to see the visible benefits? Would it be in skills development? Would it be in infrastructure? Would it be in jobs? Like, where do you think, as you sit with the community, they would be happy to start seeing these changes?
Okay. The community believes in direct employment.
Okay.
That's where they believe strongly that they feel being part of a project by direct benefit, which is employment. Secondly, they strongly believe in SMME development. When they see themselves, their business given an opportunity and it grows, they feel that they are part and parcel of the project. While skills development, I've realized that they do look for it and they appreciate it, but at times they ask, after acquiring the skill, where am I placed? Whether I'm good at pothole patching or whether I'm good at whatever in terms of whatever artisan trade that I have. What is the future beyond the project? But direct, it impacts on their livelihood. They feel it and they appreciate it. And that's how we have analyzed how they react to projects and how they feel that it's part and parcel of the project and how it impacts in their lives.
Well, here at the Mining Indaba, there may be investors who are curious about the Northwest. They've never looked at it before, but perhaps you're saying the right things right now and they like what you're saying. What is the message to investors who are now saying, you know, I think I liked that interview with the Premier. Let me drive up to the Northwest and see what's happening. What's the message to those investors?
No, we have opened our hands and our hearts. We are thirsty for investors. That's point number one. We want to assure investors of government support in the Northwest. We have very good relationship with our traditional authority, especially the House of Traditional Leaders in the province, who facilitate easily what we are doing. Thirdly, we have received a report from the geoscience. We still have a lot of potential opportunities for new mines in the province. We are in conversation with our communities. So if there is any investor who wants to get into where chrome, which now seems to be fashionable. It's an open cast. You don't struggle. It's not underground. We believe that people can come to the province. The people of the province are very friendly. And from a policy point of view, we believe that we can be made friendly so that investors find it very easy and attractive to come and work in the province. So we are welcoming every potential investor to come to our province. We'll really appreciate that.
You mentioned the strategy, you mentioned what you're currently working on. How do you personally measure your success as Premier? What will be that one indicator that matters to you that says the strategy is working, what I've implemented is working, and all the team's hard work is working? What are you going to be looking for?
I think the first top on the list will be to reduce unemployment rate. You know, it's not good. When you wake up every day, Northwest sits at 54% unemployment in the province, is the highest in the province. When you go into an area, you see people roaming in the streets. You can feel that the level of unemployment. When you get into communities and you are told about the level of violence, the level of crime, gender-based violence, use of alcohol, drugs, and substance abuse, and so on. These are all consequences of unemployment in the province. And as a result, if you deal with unemployment or reduce it, you will subsequently be targeting these others indirectly. There is a direct link between gender-based violence, between crime and unemployment. And therefore, we believe that once we deal with that one, it will make me happy. I will not completely eradicate it, but we need to grow the economy of the province within the context, of course, of the national, international participation in the economy. Once the economy of the country grows, I think the province will come handy. So unemployment is one of the key. The second thing, it will be infrastructure expansion. Whether through public infrastructure projects or private infrastructure projects. We believe that if we invest on that, because once we invest on the infrastructure, it will also expand in terms of ensuring that the economy grows, and it will expand people to come to the province and participate in the economy. Because without road infrastructure, I can tell you we are a province with about 19,000 kilometers road network. 14,000 of the 19,000 is paved. It's unpaved. Only 5,000 is paved of the 19,000. So it shows that we are a rural province with very little good road infrastructure. So for us to get investors to come to the province, we must invest in the infrastructure.
Premier, thank you so much for your time. For more mining insights, you can go to miningindaba.com.